In sections 29 and 30 of the Prolegomena, Kant explains how his account of synthetic a priori truths saves causality from Hume's skepticism by limiting its application to the realm of experience.
In order to put to a test Hume's problematic concept, his crux metaphysicorum, the concept of cause, we have, in the first place, given a priori, by means of logic, the form of a conditional judgment in general. That is, we have one given cognition as antecedent and another as consequent. But it is possible that in perception we may meet with a rule of relation which runs thus, that a certain appearance is constantly followed by another, though not conversely, and this is a case for me to use the hypothetical judgment, and, for instance, to say that if the sun shines long enough upon a body, it grows warm. Here there is indeed as yet no necessity of connection or concept of cause. But I proceed and say that if this proposition, which is merely a subjective connection of perceptions, is to be a judgment of experience, it must be regarded as necessarily and universally valid. Such a proposition would be that the sun is by its light the cause of heat. The empirical rule is now considered as a law, and as valid not merely of appearances, but valid of them for the purposes of a possible experience which requires universal and therefore necessarily valid rules. I therefore easily comprehend the concept of cause as a concept necessarily belonging to the mere form of experience, and its possibility as a synthetic unification of perceptions in a consciousness in general. But I do not at all comprehend the possibility of a thing in general as a cause, inasmuch as the concept of cause denotes a condition not at all belonging to things, but to experience. For experience can only be an objectively valid cognition of appearances and of their succession, only so far as the antecedent appearances can be conjoined with the consequent ones according to the rule of hypothetical judgments. Hence, if the pure concepts of the understanding try to go beyond objects of experience and be referred to things in themselves, noumena, they have no meaning whatever. They serve, as it were, only to spell out appearances, so that we may be able to read them as experience. The principles which arise from their reference to the sensible world only serve our understanding for use in experience. Beyond this, they are arbitrary combinations without objective reality, and we can neither cognize their possibility a priori, nor verify their reference to objects, let alone make such reference understandable by any example, because examples can only be borrowed from some possible experience, and consequently the objects of these concepts can be found nowhere but in a possible experience. This complete, though to its originator unexpected, solution of Hume's problem rescues, for the pure concepts of the understanding, their a priori origin, and, for the universal laws of nature, their validity as laws of the understanding, yet in such a way as to limit their use to experience, because their possibility depends solely on the reference of the understanding to experience, but with a completely reversed mode of connection which never occurred to Hume. They are not derived from experience, but experience is derived from them. All synthetic principles a priori are nothing more than principles of possible experience, and can never be referred to things in themselves, but only to appearances as objects of experience. And hence pure mathematics, as well as pure natural science, can never be referred to anything more than mere appearances, and can only represent either that which makes experience in general possible, or else that which, as it is derived from these principles, must always be capable of being represented in some possible experience.